Well, it looks like Ronnie Radke is making headlines again. Let's find out why. And have I ever considered stacking boost pedals? And do you think Fender should just finally admit defeat and just turn the ToneMaster Pro into a profiler? And why do I think guitar players are some of the luckiest people in the world? All that and more in today's Riffs and Responses. Let's get started. Well, thanks for joining me for today's Riffs and Responses video. And by the way, this video is sponsored by my website, tonewars.com. So if you're looking for some amazing, brutal captures or profiles or presets for quad CORTEX, ToneX, or the KEMPER, go to my website and get some awesome captures, presets, profiles for yourself. I specialize in the brutal stuff. You know, I just love to get the ultimate brutal tones out of my amplifiers and capture that for you guys. And I get some glorious cleans for you as well, kind of like the Jekyll and Hyde thing I have going on the website. So you get glorious cleans and amazing brutal profiles for any one of those units. And I have to say a very heartfelt thank you to everyone who's purchased profiles from me this year. I really appreciate that. Sales have literally, I think, almost quadrupled this year over the last year or two. And I am very grateful for that. So thank you guys so much. So today I just wanted to start out by featuring one of my favorite amplifiers, the Red 7 Leviathan. Holy crap, is this amplifier freaking amazing, man. So I'll be playing it through my Mesa 212 with the Royer 121 and SM57 mics paired together. And let's just do a quick one-take mix with this amplifier so you can hear it in a full mix. And this is channel 2. This is the most aggressive channel on the amplifier, and man, this channel is just fire. Both channels are amazing. I'll get into a little more of the amplifier later on in the video, but I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to how amazing this amplifier is. It's made by hand in Italy by some great people, and they're very passionate about what they do, and this amp is never going to leave my shelf. I stepped on a few clams in that one, but holy crap, this amp is just amazing. And I know it sounds like I had the gain way too high, but the gain is literally at 10 o'clock on channel 2. There's so much gain in this amplifier. It's just ridiculous. So just so you know, for all the gain shamers out there and the gain Karens, it's just at 10 o'clock, and I'm doing rhythm and lead on the same channel. So usually I do one-take mixes on the channel, but that took me 6 takes to get it at least, you know, as good as that was, which still had some mistakes in it. But I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just showing you what the amp sounds like. And yeah, the other takes were so freaking bad that I'm like, nope, not letting that out. So yeah, I've been working on some new material and some new music, so I've literally not played any of these songs in a little while here, except for just really quick on the live streams. And I got some new stuff coming, and this stuff's super challenging. So as soon as I sit down in the morning with my coffee and start playing, I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be practicing and doing my regimented stuff, but I just dig right into these new songs, and man, it's so much fun writing new solos, man. I freaking love it. Raise your hand if you love writing new solos too. It's so much fun. I mean, I'm here for the challenge too. I love the freaking challenge. It's like, it's so weird. It's like the most fun challenge you'll ever have. And I don't even get frustrated. You know, even if I can't get something right, I'll drill something over and over and over again. And it's fun. I don't know why it's fun, but it just is. It's so weird. The only time I get frustrated playing guitar is when I'm down here doing a mix 27 times to get it right for the show. That's why I quit doing that, and I started just doing one-take mixes. So other than that, I don't care how frustrating or supposedly frustrating guitar is for me. It's always fun no matter what. So let's just start digging into the comments now. This first comment is from QuickSticks87. And this is from one of my riffs and response videos where I was talking about the ToneMaster Pro. He says, I'd be more happy if TMP, ToneMaster Pro, was just a profile player and just buy quality packs from the pros. It's possible, I suppose. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, thanks for commenting. And, you know, I think that, you know, the ToneMaster Pro has a lot of potential. I really do. I loved the interface. I loved the look and feel, the fit and finish, and the tones I got out of it were actually pretty damn good. How accurate were they compared to the actual amplifiers? I don't know. You know, I didn't get a chance to really shoot that stuff out, but I will say that it sounded pretty freaking good. Now, I think that the Achilles heel to that product is the fact that it's not a profiler, because the interface and the graphics and all that stuff is freaking amazing. The workflow, amazing. All they need to do is just add the software to it to make it a profiler, and I think that thing would really take off. I really do. I talked to Fender about that on a few occasions, and they said it's definitely capable as long as it's got the software. So I just wonder if that will be an update coming down the road very soon. Hopefully that is an update that will come down the road, because if so, that product will have a resurgence like no product has ever had. So I really hope Fender does that. Otherwise, I think that product is, I think it still has a lot of potential, like I said, but I'm not hearing a lot about it lately. So hopefully they do that, and then they'll actually put that, you know, that product on the map. So let's keep our eyes peeled and see what happens in the future. Maybe they'll release an update at NAMM and make the announcement there. That would be freaking killer. All right, this next comment is from John Carmack 6945, and this is on my PRS MT100 versus a bunch of different amplifiers. And he says, hey, how does the Nitro feel compared to the Mesa rectifier? Well, I would say that the Nitro is a lot tighter. Mesa dual Rex or even triple Rex are known to be really flubby, tubby, gooey amplifiers on the low end, and you simply can't play those without an overdrive pedal. I don't even think it's subjective at this point. If you don't put a boost in front of that amplifier, it's just like driving a car around on flat tires. You know, it's just really goopy, and just the loose low end just feels terrible. So the Nitro is a lot tighter. So if you're, you know, one of those people that just doesn't like overdrives or you'd rather not have to use one, I think depending on your style of playing, you could probably get away with that on the Nitro, because it is pretty tight on the low end, especially when you compare it to the dual Rex and the triple Rex. But I boost my Nitro anyways because I suck and I need a boost pedal, you know, so that's just the way it works. All right, so this next comment is from, I'm going to butcher this name, Elaine Cousin You 9321. I tried. This comment is from my Chariotone Clone Centura video I just did the other day. He said, Wampler Geranium Tenemus is the clon to get these days. The Chariotone is a great choice too. No, you're right. The Chariotone Clone Centura or Centura, however you want to pronounce it, was really good. I've never played a clon or clone before that I know of anyways. And I was really surprised at how good that pedal was. I mean, there's some great tones you can get out of it, and it really takes, especially the thinner amps, and thickens them up and gives them a lot of edge and a great feel as well. And I don't know, I just really like the design of the pedal. And I'm not talking about the look, even though it does look cool. I'm just talking about the whole overall design of the circuit and everything. I just thought it was really unique and very cool. And I was talking to my friend Jeremy Varale from Donkeys and Demos today, and he also recommended that pedal to me. And he said to try one of those out because you can I guess they put an EQ after the boost section of that pedal on the Tenemus, and it allows you to really fine tune some stuff. So I just love how all the overdrive pedal companies now are getting more creative. It's not just like, well, here's your 3 knobs and you're on and off. They're actually modifying things and adding features and stuff like that because they're realizing that we want that stuff, number one. And number two, there's so many different amplifiers out there now. I mean, back in the 80s, most of the amps had the kind of the same feel as far as low end and stuff like that goes, except for maybe the rectifiers, but a lot of them had that same kind of thing going on. They're kind of copying each other. Now it seems like amplifiers are modifying their design so much that some of them are really tight and some of them are still on the loose side. Some are thicker, heavier, beefier. There's all these different types of low end and sculpting that they need. And gosh, I can't believe I couldn't say that they need. Okay, got stuck for a second. And because of that, you need different overdrive pedals, you know, to interact with the amplifier properly. And the more I try different overdrive pedals, the more I appreciate what they do and sometimes what they don't do. And when you have, you know, an amp collection, you know, big or small, even if it's just a couple amps, you know, I mean, it really does matter what pedal you hook up to it and how it interacts with that amplifier, and you find that out more and more. And it's funny, like overdrive pedals that I had in the past that I thought were like, oh, this is my number one, I've moved away from in a lot of ways because I've found pedals that are just better. And the Oddbox is definitely one of those pedals that has steered me away from a lot of my old favorites because it's just such a great pedal. In fact, that's what I used with the Red 7, channel 2. Now on channel 1, the Oddbox works pretty good, but I kind of prefer the Precision Drive, or I have a stuttering problem today. Weird. I kind of prefer the Precision Drive or the Grid Slammer with that channel because it's a little thicker, it's a less tight channel, and less edgy. So I think those pedals benefit that channel a little better, but it really depends. You know, it really depends on what your taste is. But I'm learning a lot of stuff about overdrive pedals lately, and it's a lot of fun. And hopefully, if I get a chance to get my hands on the Wampler Tenemus, I will definitely do that. All right, so this next comment is from Zach Kaufman Guitar, and this is on my EVH Stealth 100 versus EVH Stealth 50 watt. Does size really matter? He says, I have the 100 watt, played the 50 watt, no comparison. If you are going to get one, get the 100 watt. You know, I agree. You know, there was a time that when I first owned the 50 watt, I thought, yeah, it sounds pretty close to the 100 watt, and I really liked it. And I still think it's a great amplifier. Don't get me wrong. I think they did a fantastic job on that amp. But one day I brought the 100 watt home from Motor City Guitar and spent more time with it and learned more about the amplifier and really dialed it into what I think is perfection, and at least for my taste. And that amplifier is amazing. It's definitely one of the most brutal amps out there. And yeah, the 50 watt, as good as it is, just does not compare to the 100 watt. The 100 watt's fuller, meaner, and it's got those Easter eggs in it, and you got that independent resonance and presence for each channel, and also the tone stack for each channel as well isn't shared. I mean, it's just a completely different amplifier, and I can't say enough good things about that amp. It really is one of the best high gain, brutal amplifiers out there. And if you haven't played one, definitely do so. And if you're a 50 watt owner, hey, you got a great amp. You really do. So no shame in that at all. I get it. We're all on different budgets and stuff like that. But if you do have the means and you thought about stepping up to the 100 watt, you will not regret it at all. That's what I did. I ended up stepping up to the 100 watt and I never looked back. I sold my 50. And again, great amplifier, but with all due respect, I don't miss it. I'd much rather have the 100. So much better, and it's so brutal. So check one out if you haven't. In fact, I know XFX just came out with an update with that amplifier in it, and I heard good things about it from my friend Jay. So maybe I'll look into that as well in the future. All right, so this next question is from UseTuber5000. He says, I know you love drive pedals. Do you consider stacking them? I have a Badlander and really want to try a Walrus 385 overdrive stacked with some type of distortion pedal in it. The Badlander excels with open dynamic gain like the Oddbox. It's very easy to color the Badlander with either pedals or pickups. Pretty sensitive and picky amp, but I really like that about it. Well, thanks for commenting, and I agree with you 100%. The Badlander, because it's so sculpted, it can be a bit picky and sensitive, but that could be a good thing because it really does matter what pickups you play through it, even with the gain cranked all the way up. I mean, it does really matter. It really does. And because of that, some guys really like that amplifier because it really shows everything that you have in the signal chain. Your guitar, your pickups, maybe your cables, I don't know, but you're definitely your overdrives and stuff like that really matter with that amplifier. It's a very transparent type of gain structure and tone structure in that amplifier. It's really crazy. You know, speaking of stacking overdrives, I have tried it in a way. I haven't tried stacking two different overdrives. I play with so much gain that putting two overdrives in line with each other and turning them on in front of that, I think I think it would be like a nuclear holocaust. It would be pretty crazy. But I think if you're gonna stack overdrives, one way to do it is getting a pedal like the Alchemy by Red 7. This pedal here has two types of different boosts inside. One is an overdrive, one side's like an overdrive, and the other side is a clean boost. And you can actually combine them, and with the switch, you can actually pick which order they're in. So that's actually a really cool thing. So like that boost gives you that kind of fat feeling and that fat tone, and it just is it's just a push into the front of the amplifier, I think up to 20 decibels, and it's really cool, but it's a little on the soft side. So then when you engage the overdrive section, you can shape all that and EQ it and have that clipping and that really nice edge added to it, and then you adjust the boost accordingly to get that fullness back. I mean, you can really make a lot of cool adjustments with this pedal. So this pedal here allows you to do that stacking thing. So now you're not stacking two overdrives, you're stacking a clean boost with an overdrive and combining the two, and you can dial them in accordingly and really get a great tone out of that. So I think this is a great way to go. It's not two separate pedals, but it really is two separate pedals in one casing. So there's that. And then the Devil's Triad also does that. You have a drive and a clean boost, and you can also combine these and get that fullness and that cut and that aggression and that edge that you like too, and that great feel. So this also allows you to do that. So yeah, I guess I have tried it, you know, in that way, and I think that's a good way to go. I really do. So in my opinion, and based on my experience so far doing this, if you're gonna combine boost pedals and do some stacking, You want to get a clean boost and stack that with something that's a little on the nasty side, and then just feather them in together and adjust things accordingly and find your magic sweet spot. Now, I think that doing it with pedals like this, especially with the Alchemy by Red 7, would be a good way to go because they're made to work together and they're all in the same casing, so it saves you space on your pedal board. But great question. I really like that question, and I've been asked that before, and it's about time I answered it. So thanks again for the question, and I'm glad you enjoyed the video. All right, so on with the news topic of the week. I watch some news channels regarding the music industry on YouTube, and one of them is Rockfeed. So shout out to Rockfeed, amazing channel. He's got a lot of great content there, so if you haven't checked him out, please do so. And so he shared this story about Ronnie Radke basically calling out a venue for charging them 25% of their gross sales regarding all of their merch. So he decided to not sell merch at that venue, and not only that, he doubled down by getting on stage and calling out the venue and literally giving them the finger and telling them to F off because they were trying to rip off the band. Now here's the thing. I know Ronnie Radke is loved and hated by lots of different people, and I don't want to get into all that. I'm just appreciating the fact that we have somebody that has a platform like he does and is in a band as popular as his band, and he's using that platform to call a spade publicly and shining light on something that I think is pretty criminal in the music industry. I personally am glad that he said this, and I'm glad that he stood up to the venue, at the venue, in front of the venue, while he was on stage. I mean, what a bully pulpit, right? And if there's ever a time to use your bully pulpit, it's then. And I don't think he was just doing it for his band, but he's doing it for all the other bands as well. And I think if all the other bands out there did the same thing, then it would make things better for everybody else. Because let's face it, some of these bands that make a ton of money, yeah, the 25% in principle still is bullshit, and I think it's criminal and stupid, but it wouldn't hurt their bottom line so much because they're making a ton of money anyway. So to them, it's like, whatever, let's just let it go. Don't want to make waves, but we need bands that size to call that out because it's the bands that are under them that are touring on their DIY tours and stuff like that. Those are the bands that kind of stuff really hurts, man. I mean, these guys are barely making a profit when they're out touring. And, you know, if you're in a DIY band, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. These guys aren't living high on the hog, you know. I mean, they are just squeaking by at every venue. And that 25% could be the difference between whether they eat or not that night or whether they have to stay in the van or a hotel. You know, they have to make that decision. So it's really shitty when venues do that. Because the thing is these venues that do this kind of crap, I mean, they're not sharing their drink sales with the band. So why should the band be sharing their merch sales with the venue? The venue's job is to open the doors for the public to come in and let them use that place for the concert. But the venue makes money by, you know, they get a cut of the ticket sales, and they also are selling drinks. Now, I know for a fact that beer that you buy for $8 doesn't cost $5. It costs about 55 cents. You know, draft beers are even cheaper. So, you know, that can of beer you're paying $8 for, that's a huge profit margin for the venue, and they're selling tons of that, and they're making a huge profit on that. So I don't understand why these venues are, you know, pretty much taking it to the patrons by charging them that much for alcohol, but now they're also ripping off the freaking band. Now, I get that they got to make money, they got to pay their staff, and that's the reason why some of these prices are so high. And I understand that to a certain degree, but you guys know, I mean, it's not fun paying $8 to $12 for one beer at a concert. It sucks. So I just think that greed is it's not really a good thing when it comes to that kind of stuff. So hopefully more bands join in on this and call venues out for that, because I think it's bullshit. I mean, it's bad enough that artists go out and tour and they have to pay all the expenses associated with that. They got to pay for the tour bus, the fuel, the drivers, the hotel, the food, the the lodging, just all the stuff, and you know, crew and gear and all the stuff. And they also have to, you know, pay for advertising for all of that. They're buying their merch up front and hoping to make their money back on it and make a profit so they can keep, you know, keep the lights on. But when they stream, and, you know, all the streaming platforms out there, they take a huge cut of their money as well. And it's like, when do these guys ever catch a break? The record companies are ripping them off. And this kind of crap really makes it not fun to be an artist anymore. You know, I mean, it's not fun to be an artist when you got everybody gunning for you and everybody's got their freaking dirty little fingers in your pie, you know, and it just sucks after a while. So hopefully that crap comes to an end very soon. And, you know, a story that I'll share that happened in my area a couple years ago, this garbage band called OTEP came to one of the venues out here. And this is the exact opposite of what Ronnie Radke did. So they came here, and some local bands here opened up for them and did the pay-to-play thing, you know, where they sold tickets and did all that, because OTEP, you know, obviously couldn't sell enough tickets on their own, so they had to hire a bunch of local bands to open for them and sell tickets to make up the difference. And they didn't get any of that money. It all went to OTEP. And so the idiot singer for OTEP went on stage and got pissed off because the bands that opened up for them were selling merch after they got off stage. And she was pissed off because merch tables were open while they were singing, and she demanded that the tables be shut down while they're performing and they could open them back up after the show. I mean, there's a garbage take from a garbage band led by a garbage person, in my opinion, for you right there, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, but if your ego can't take the fact that these bands that sold tickets for you and all that money went in your pocket and they played for free that night, and they had to help supplement your income that night by selling your tickets because you suck and you can't sell your own damn tickets on your own because you're not popular enough. And then you're going to double down on that and not let them at least make a few bucks off some t-shirts while you're performing your garbage music. I mean, that's pretty shitty. It really is. And I hope they're never allowed to play at that venue again, because that would be a huge slap in the face to all of the local bands in my area. And yeah, and in fact, they did come back and they played at that same venue again. That's right. Man, that's bullshit. I just don't understand it. The music scene in my area is garbage, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, that's a story I had about that, and I would never support that band because of that. And everybody here in the music scene that witnessed that or heard about it, they were just like, holy crap, man. What a idiot, man. How selfish can you be, you know? And how self-entitled can you be? I mean, that is just freaking ridiculous. And I remember she went on Facebook the next day and tried to explain why and all this kind of crap, and nobody was buying it. Everyone's like, nah, no, not buying it. You know, that's a bunch of crap. So anyway, so yeah, the music industry definitely needs to change. And there's bad people and bad actors on both sides, on the artist side and on the business side. And maybe someday everybody will be able to find a way to make it work. So we'll see. Let's keep our eyes peeled on that as well. And again, no matter what you think of Ronnie, I'm glad that he actually called a spade publicly, and I hope more artists do that in the future. All right, so let's hear a little bit more of this amazing amplifier by Red 7, the Leviathan. Let's switch over to channel 1 in hot mode. I'll just play a couple of stupid riffs on it so you can hear it. So here we go. So I was playing that channel with the odd box, and it sounds good, but it's a little round, right? So I'm going to switch from that while I'm playing to the precision drive, and show you the difference. It's going to have a nice bite to it when I switch over to that, and I think that's better for that channel anyways, but everybody's taste is different, so let's see what that sounds like. Again, I'm starting on the odd box, going to switch to the precision drive. Now that's got more edge to it, and it's not as soft on the top end. So let's switch from that to the grid slammer now. Yeah, the grid slammer is, for me, the pedal for that channel. It is freaking awesome. I love this pedal so much, and the settings on it, gain all the way down, level all the way up, tone cranked, and it gives it that nice bite and edge and that texture that I'm looking for anyways. That channel's pretty fat. It's really aggressive, but it's also a fatter channel than channel 2. So I just think that it benefits from this pedal a little bit more, where channel 2 is it's a little tighter and edgier, and it benefits from a boost that allows more low end. So it just depends. I'm sure you can find a boost that works with both channels. I've done it before, but I'm just pointing out some differences here. So let's hear some more riffs with the grid slammer and channel 1 in hot mode on the Leviathan. Freaking amp's amazing. And then let's switch over to channel 2. And, well, let's keep on the grid slammer for now, and then I'll switch over to the odd box. Yeah, so with the grid slammer on channel 2, it's just too much. It was too raspy and too aggressive, where the odd box mellowed it out a little bit, but it made it a little thicker. So, like I said, you could find a boost that'll work with both channels. I've done it before, but I just think it's nice to hear the differences here. So, all right, so let's hear some more riffs on channel 2, and then we'll move on to the next segment. Man, that amp's fun to play. So aggressive. Holy shit. I mean, you don't play this amp, you wield it. Yeah, this is definitely one of the most aggressive amps I've ever played as well. I would put this up against the Stealth regarding aggressiveness. This thing's very aggressive. It's a different texture and a different type of aggression, but it really does the aggressive thing very well. So again, if you haven't tried out one of these amps, I highly recommend that you do. You have two very unique channels, and they're freaking amazing. And again, like the Alchemy, this pedal really surprised me. I really liked it. So if you like the stacking of boost things and you don't want to take up a bunch of room on your pedal board, this is a great way to do it. Again, you can put the boost, the clean boost, before or after the drive. With the switch, you have different clipping, and you also, let's see, the magic on this pedal is cranking the tone knob all the way up. When you have it in the middle, where a lot of people have it, it just doesn't do much. And as all of a sudden you crank that tone knob up and you're like, there it is. Lots of great edge, but it's not too bright. It just sounds amazing. So that's also a great pedal. Okay, so now let's talk about why I think guitar players are some of the luckiest people in the world. I mean, playing guitar has been a big part of my life for a long time now, and I'm super thankful for the ability to play guitar at any level. You know, I mean, we always strive to play at better levels and go faster and learn more riffs and stuff like that. And that's all great. It really is, because growth is always a good thing. But I just think that this instrument has brought so much good to my life, so much joy, and so many awesome things, and so many opportunities to my life that I just couldn't imagine my life without it. You know, this is the thing that I escape to. You know, I come home and you know, from work, and even when I'm tired and I don't feel like I could play a lot of stuff, but I just want to play anyways. I mean, this thing really does take me away from a lot of things. And what I like about it is the fact that, you know, I can come home and no matter how I'm feeling, I can actually lay that down on the fretboard. And not only does my guitar listen to me, but it actually projects the things that I'm feeling, you know. And it's really cool to have an instrument that's so creative, and it's pretty much endless what you can do with this. I mean, it's funny, like, you know, Jimi Hendrix came out and everyone's like, oh, wow, this guy really brought guitar to another level, and Jimmy Page, and people thought, like, what else can you do? I mean, these guys have just done it all. And then Eddie Van Halen comes out and you're like, what? And then you get guys like Tosin Abasi, George Lynch, Guthrie Govan, you know, Zakk Wylde, of course, John Petrucci, and Steve Vai. And it's like there's just no end to how creative you can be with this instrument. It's the most brutally honest instrument out there as well. Like, if something doesn't sound right, it's not the guitar's fault, it's your fault. You know, I mean, this guitar really holds you to it, you know. It's just so honest, you know, but it's also a very fair instrument. So whatever you play well, it rewards you for. And whatever you play horribly, well, it doesn't hide your mistakes. They come out, and it just is what it is. I mean, they come in all sizes, shapes, colors. You can get, you know, different string amounts. I mean, you can get the 6 string, the 7 string, 8 string, 9 string. I mean, it's crazy what these guitars do and how many different, like, pickups. And, you know, I mean, you could personalize these things and get them however you want. You can go, you know, go to a company like Kiesel and get anything you want, you know, and you can build your own signature guitar, and you can do anything with it. I mean, you can sound, even if you're in America like I am, you can sound like you're from the Middle East. You can sound like you're from Europe. You can sound like you're from different countries and different parts of the world, depending on the notes and the scales that you play on this thing. You can sound galactic on this thing. You can, like Joe Satriani, he's got the Crystal Planet album, and there's some songs on there that sound like a galaxy. Like there's this galactic sound that he gets out of his guitar with those things, and it's like, I wonder what the galaxy sounds like. Well, Joe Satriani answered that for us. I mean, there's so many things you can do with the guitar, and I'm so grateful for it. I really am. It's always waiting for you to come home and pick it up and play it, and it'll express whatever you want it to express in any way that you want it to do it. And again, I just love the honesty that this instrument offers. You know, I mean, you can, it's so weird. Like with today's society, I mean, we're always trying to blame everybody else for our problems and for our faults and our mistakes and everything. But you're not going to get away with that with this instrument. This instrument, it just is what it is. And it'll sound as good or as bad as the effort that you're going to put into it. And it will punish you or reward you accordingly, you know? And I mean, you can make a career out of playing this thing. And the thing is, too, you'll never master this instrument. You'll never master it. I mean, there are people out there like John Petrucci, Steve Vai, all them guys, and have you mastered this? They'll be like, no, I'll never master this. It's like golf or reaching the end of the internet. It's not possible. You know, I mean, every day you can play something right on this instrument is a good day. And every day that you can't is a day that you just need to practice a little bit more. And this guitar points that out to you. And it's just amazing how awesome it is. And I never say, like, I have to practice today. I say I get to practice today. You know, there's a lot of people out there that I see that have physical issues and they're not able to play. I've seen guys play with their feet. I've seen guys play with, you know, they have just like their hand is like disfigured, but they're still able to pick somehow. And they have this hand that might be disfigured, and they're still able to have like 3 fingers that they can do things with. I've seen guys lay the guitar on their lap because they can't play the way that most of us do, and they have to play over the top. And these guys are amazing. I think his name's Brockstar. I think he's in a wheelchair most of the time. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's been a while since I've seen his videos. But he plays over the top, and he plays some amazing stuff, like absolutely amazing. And anytime I feel like discouraged, like, oh, this is too hard or whatever, I see a guy like that and I get instantly inspired and a little bit ashamed of myself for feeling the way I was feeling a few minutes ago. And I get back to work again because these guys are so inspiring, you know. Against all odds, these guys are doing amazing things with the guitar. And that is a statement not only of these guys, but also of how amazing the guitar is and how addictive it is and how just incredible it is to be able to pick up an instrument and do what we do on this at any level, you know. That even people that are like have just a huge steep hill to climb with different physical attributes that stop them from playing like most normies do anyways, and I mean that with all due respect, they still overcome those barriers and become amazing, incredible players. I mean, that one guy that plays with his feet, when Steve Vai joined him one time on, I think it was on YouTube or Facebook or something, I was just like, oh my God, and the guy was shredding his ass off and playing amazingly. And it's like, it's just amazing how inspirational this instrument is. It really is. So if you're out there and you're a guitar player at any level, whether you just got one today and started playing, or if you've been playing as long as I have or longer, just feel grateful. Be grateful for the opportunity that you have, because we're a rare breed. There's not a lot of us out there, to be honest with you, compared to the rest of the population. And we're the lucky few who get to experience all the things that these instruments offer. And it's just such a great time to be a guitar player. There's so much great gear out there, and YouTube channels and opportunities and all kinds of stuff when it comes to playing guitar. I mean, there are so many people that, you know, street players that make a living off of this, and they're amazing, and they actually do pretty well for themselves. YouTubers, professional musicians, studio musicians, touring bands, I mean, all kinds of people, teachers, luthiers, people that make these things, you know, just there's so many different ways of to make a living off of this instrument. You just have to find one that works best for you. Now, you don't have to make a living off of it, though. Sometimes you just want to do it for pure joy. And to be honest with you, to me, that's one of the best ways, because it's so pure. It's such a pure way of enjoying the instrument. All the business part is not involved. It's all out there, and it's just you and this instrument, and it's just such an incredible thing to be a guitar player. So I just wanted to say that because I want to express my gratitude for this instrument, and not just this particular one, but the guitar in general. But I want to express my gratitude for this and all the opportunities that it's provided for me, and how it's shaped me as a person. It's made me a better person. And I just love the challenges. I literally, like I said earlier in this video, I don't get frustrated when I'm playing my guitar just on my own upstairs, just noodling around and writing solos. I love it. I love the fact that every time I sit down with this thing, I get better. And it's not often that you run into something that you do every day that makes you better. A lot of times when you do things every day, they make you either worse or frustrated or tired or whatever. This instrument has made me better in so many ways, and I have a long way to go, but I can't wait to see where this instrument takes me in the next 10 years, and I can't wait to see where it takes you as well. And if you don't mind, share your guitar journey with me in the comment section and how much you appreciate this instrument and what it's done for you. I'd really like to see those comments. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said earlier in the video, if you're looking for some amazing tones for Tonex, Quad Cortex, or Kemper, go to my website and check out what I have there. I have some really good selections there for you on a lot of the different amplifiers that you see around me, and amps I don't even have anymore. I still have capture and profile packs of those for you. And again, it's ultimate brutal, nasty tones, right down to glorious cleans as well. So if you're looking for something like that, feel free to go to my website and check those out, and I know you're going to like them. Like I said, sales have, went through the roof this year. I can't believe when I looked at my analytics how much they've went up since just a year ago, and that's a testament. I'm glad that people are enjoying the tones. I really am, and again, thank you so much to everyone who has bought them. I really appreciate it. Well, to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you guys so much. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, which is basically unbiased gear reviews with no processing on either side, pre or post, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with another episode. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.